Hello and welcome to Love Your Practice, a free educational series powered by Therapy Partner. We are so pleased you could join us for today's webinar, Embracing Referral Cards, Cultivate Optimal Clients and Referral Sources with this top marketing tool. There are a lot of clinicians here on the line today, both current customers and attendees, so welcome and thank you for joining us. Today's webinar is sponsored by Therapy Partner's Love Your Practice. Therapy Partner's mission is to improve the industry and lives of clinicians by offering progressive technology, business education, and dedicated consultative support. We know that technology alone is not enough. That's why we offer dedicated support and our wildly popular free comprehensive business of practice educational series, which includes practice building strategies, a podcast series, and these live educational webinars. Our webinar today is led by CEO Dr. Jessica Dolgan. I am your host, Sarah Sims, the Director of Business Development over here at Therapy Partner. Therapy Partner is the fastest growing practice management technology in the industry and has won an award for being among the top 10 best practice management solutions in the healthcare industry. Therapy Partner's intuitive technology streamlines all business of practice tasks, including scheduling, billing, progress notes, statements, revenue tracking, and more, all from your computer, tablet, or phone. Therapy Partner is committed to creating technology and education that empower your business, allowing you to focus on clinical care. 98% of clinicians that try Therapy Partner stay on board, and within their first year of adoption, their revenue is up 20%. This is due to combining technology, education, and support. Dr. Dolgan is the founder and CEO of Therapy Partner. She is a national business consultant and continuing education provider. Dr. Dolgan also has a thriving private pay group practice in Denver, Colorado. Dr. Dolgan and the entire Therapy Partner team are a specialized group of professionals committed to pioneering powerful industry-based technology, education, and support services to empower private practitioners. We know that clinicians every day throughout the country help clients lead inspired lives. At Therapy Partner, we are driven to empower you, the clinician, to love the business side of your business. By providing you with intuitive technology, free business of practice education, and dedicated support, we ensure that you thrive. For a limited time for attending today's webinar, you will receive a free practice building quiz, a dedicated personalized consultation, and a free 2-month no obligation trial of Therapy Partner's practice management technology, also a copy of today's webinar. Please note this extended free trial is only available to registered attendees for a limited time. Dr. Dolgan is known for providing content-heavy presentations, and she will be moving very quickly throughout the presentation, and also the PowerPoint presentation is quite detailed as well. So we're going to be giving you the webinar content via email to ensure that you can simply relax, listen, and learn today without the need to take notes. So without further ado, I'm pleased to hand it over to Dr. Jessica Dolgan. Jessica?
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you to everybody who's on the line. I know during these business education events, we have a great deal of current customers on the line who enjoy the Love Your Practice education division, as well as prospective customers. So thank you all for being here today for Embracing Referral Cards. I want to give you a little bit of background on the presentation. Sarah mentioned this, but I'll repeat it quickly. These presentations tend to be pretty content heavy. I do speak very quickly, and I have found during continuing education that I have received in the past that I often am given a very sparse presentation, and then I'm trying to listen and write, take notes. So hopefully you won't have to do that today. Wherever you are, you can just sit back and listen. You will receive a copy of this presentation, and hopefully that makes it easy to just digest the material live today. I also want to give some context to this presentation. This is one of the most requested topics through our business education division. So we've gotten countless requests around the country from clinicians who have asked about the utilization of referral cards. What are they? How do you use them? When do you use them? One of the reasons that these questions came up is many of the clinicians who are here today have already taken one of our business education classes. It's a webinar entitled Cultivating Your Niche Expertise. That topic is directly correlated with embracing referral cards. So kind of a step one to think about is cultivating a niche expertise in the marketplace. And step two is how to utilize marketing collateral, one item being a referral card, to really create an opportunity to direct optimal referrals that you would love seeing into your practice, as well as to cultivate optimal referral sources. So if there are people on the line today who have not taken Cultivating Your Niche Expertise in Private Practice, that may be a helpful supplement as well. So I want to start by just talking a little bit about the law of reciprocity and the psychology of solving other people's problems in business. I think it quite often we think about our needs in business or what types of referrals we would want to see. And one way, psychologists are natural empaths and intuits, and it's very easy for us actually to take the position of other. And so this topic will be quite natural for all of you once we go through it. And the way to think about cultivating optimal referral sources, I believe, one way to think about it at least, is to consider solving some of their problems in business. So marketing your expertise by distributing referral cards can solve the revolving door and triaging process for high volume optimal referral sources. And by providing yourself expert-based clinical care, you can also ensure that your practice is appropriately branded and recognized in the community. Experts just simply get paid more and are highly sought after. I always ask clinicians to just consider ourselves in this matter. If we were struggling, a family member was struggling, a child was struggling, we would jump right online and look for the best expert in our community. And everybody on the line today is one of those experts. And so really this is a process of thinking about how the public finds you. Everybody who's listening today has a great expertise. Clinicians sometimes are shy about being self-promoting or marketing. That's why partially I designed the course to reflect on the needs of others. Therapists, I'm sure some of you are laughing as I am, we tend to be better at reflecting on the needs of others than ourselves. And the good news about this strategy is in reflecting on the needs of others, we actually do serve our own private practices. So to start with, we should just be thinking about high volume referral sources. So some examples of these might be primary care physicians, OBGYNs, dermatologists, pediatric offices, schools. These clinics or institutions are just not built to tolerate the volume of need in their office, nor do they have the time or requisite expertise to serve these patients well. And they are quite relieved and excited to know that experts like yourself are available. They also find it very, very easy then to distribute a referral card to that patient. And they prefer this process over wandering around their office and trying to find the appropriate information so that they can refer somebody to you. Great example is we all know of an anxiety disorder patient who starts out by going to the primary care physician. They walk in, they have a general checkup, they end up talking to the doctor about anxiety, thyroid is checked, other things are kind of ruled out, and then that primary care physician has a problem on their hands. They really need a high quality community referral source for that patient, and someone today who's listening specializes in anxiety disorders. The historic problem with therapists is first of all, we don't do much marketing. Second of all, if we do marketing, it's generally not that targeted or branded. And if we do, we rarely get that information over to those high volume referral sources. So now, again, in taking the position of other, we think about this primary care physician who's got 40 more patients coming in for the day. He's got a young lady who's suffering from anxiety or panic attacks. He really doesn't have both the requisite knowledge or the bandwidth to treat this patient and needs to get them over to a referral source. So he can send that person to the front desk where an admin or nurse tries to find a phone number of a clinic in town or a person in town. This is where the referral card comes in and becomes magical. These high volume practitioners are so happy to have a very, very basic piece of marketing collateral that they can reach literally into a clinical drawer. We have come to find that these referral sources will actually keep them right in the treatment rooms. A dermatologist or primary care physician, OBGYN, they'll leave them in the treatment room, reach in a drawer and say, to a woman who's suffering from postpartum depression at the OBGYN, this is a specialized psychological practice that helps women. Please go over here. And this is where a referral card really starts helping you to cultivate an optimal referral. And helps you to begin the process of seeing the patients that you love to see all day. Clinicians always tell me that they have 2 or 3 patients that they see a day, or sometimes it's unfortunately only one, and they always say to me, hey, Jess, if I could see patients like that all day, I'd be really happy. The truth of the matter is I would love to encourage everybody on the line to start thinking about seeing those patients every day. Experts get paid more. They're highly sought after. There's lower ethical and legal liability because you can focus just on your niche expertise, and it doesn't have to be one. It could be a few. And our practices tend to be more lucrative, and our personal satisfaction improves when we don't feel like we have to know everything about everything and every condition that could possibly show up in our office. It's really nice when we get to focus on the things that we're best at. The truth of the matter is this is actually supported in our advertising and marketing, and you will see that the community will enforce this by sending you the types of referrals you want. But it starts by you having a brand. And even before that, it starts with you recognizing what your expertise is, putting aside some of your biases around promoting your expertise. And I would really encourage you, if you have the time, first to consider just carving out time in your schedule. I mention this in every webinar for business development. This is time when you're not running your business, you're chasing around patients, you're doing administration, where you get to do what you're doing right now, which is engaging in business education, thinking about the future of your practice, and doing some business planning. If you visit our library, there's also other great sources for business education around the country. You will see some of these topics on organizing and streamlining your practice, taking some education on cultivating your niche expertise, additional education on putting aside some of those biases I just mentioned that get in the way of self-promotion. So I'd consider looking through the library and taking some of those classes, as I said before, that are directly related to this class. So I want to review again that the public respects and pursues experts. They will pursue an expert when it matters most. And you cultivating an expertise in an area that you're already passionate about usually is the key to increasing your earning potential. Those experts command a higher clinical rate and are often found in the private pay market. As I said before, every single person on the line has an ideal client they're inspired to see. And by focusing your efforts around a few specialties, you attract preferred clientele, you improve your relationships with optimal referral sources, you limit your liability because you don't have to know as much about as many things, and you generally improve your professional satisfaction. And the last kicker is you increase your revenue. And experts out-earn generalists in almost every healthcare industry, including ours. So the key to that is understanding your current brand and market approach and understanding the key to attracting optimal clientele and referral sources. One of those keys is this magical referral card. Just in being here today, you've already put yourself outside of the competition. So many clinicians are still nervous about receiving business education, setting a professional precedent in their office, accessing or utilizing technology. These are all small strategies, techniques, and tools that, when combined, put you in a position to have a business that you love. There's a reason we called the series Love Your Practice. We really do want you to love your practice. This is a hard profession. I see patients too. We really need to be in a place where we feel great about the work that we're doing, and we also genuinely can be off when we're off. And it's also incredibly important that we have businesses that make the money we need to run the life that we need to run. There are some educational classes just on one, I believe, called Firing Your Worst Enemy. It's a class just on kind of getting out of our own way, some money shame and shame around branding and self-promotion that can put you in a position to use these referral cards. So just to start with, I want to review a few of the items about cultivating your niche expertise. Again, there's a whole class on this, but we'll review them quickly for those that already took that one. So maybe answer the following marketing questions to better understand your niche expertise and brand possibilities. Consider whether your current practice needs rebranding. How are you perceived in the public marketplace? Do people know about your specialty, and what are you and for what are you pursued? These are just basic questions. There's usually a few people who know what you're amazing at. There's usually not enough. And again, if we take the place of other and we make this about other people, not just ourselves, and solving their problems, and in utilizing the law of reciprocity, in solving other people's problems by simply telling them where you are and who you are, you will start cultivating a practice you really like. If you're currently not promoting your expertise, consider refocusing and some rebranding efforts to carefully begin to promote your areas of specialty. Also considering what areas you generally prefer. When you are positioned as an expert, you're going to increase your revenue. Your brand is actually going to be a brand, and you're going to improve the likelihood of attracting optimal clientele, but also private pay clientele. This all starts with just talking about what you actually love. Like I said, every single person online usually says, Jess, I have a specialty. I would like to know more about it. I'd like to be more educated. I'd like to pursue more certifications associated with it. But most people are studying something and they have some level of expertise. This does not mean that when a general client, a 40-year-old individual calls and says they've been having some mild dysthymia, that you can't take them. Of course you can. But this means that the public is understanding what you love, what you do best, and they're finding you because of this, and you are getting to grow your business around this. And this all starts with just really, take out a legal pad. This doesn't need to be a heavy-duty business document. Just start by writing down the types of patients and the work that you most value. And begin the process of working to increase your knowledge in those areas. Don't be afraid of pigeonholing yourself as an expert. You are always going to receive phone calls from friends of friends, family of clients, colleague referrals that just know that you are a great clinician and that you can handle a great deal. But there's going to be some people who are driving your perfect client right in through the door, and that's who we're targeting today. Please think about selecting your patients and colleagues for collaboration really carefully. We all know what it's like to work with a professional in the community that we don't really enjoy working with, or we don't think that they engage in care coordination or connection around patient care the way that we would like. Please consider not only the types of patients you want to see, but the types of people you want to work with, and also, do you value their work? Is there a primary care office in the city that you deeply value, an OBGYN that's doing great work with women? Who are these people that you want to connect with? Because they want to know you too. And there are people who are listening today who deeply value care coordination. We know that this is the key to getting patients better, is communicating, connecting, and care coordinating. In fact, it's part of our job responsibilities and ethical responsibilities to engage in care coordination. But thinking about who those optimal referral sources are is very important. Your reputation and your referral sources are going to be driving traffic to both you and, if you have any associates as well. So the question to ask yourself is, how would you like the community to perceive and understand the work you perform and your vision for your growing practice? This is really important. There are people who actually want a larger practice. It's okay if you just want to have a solo practice, but there are people who want to add an associate, they want to add multiple streams of revenue, or they want to grow more of a clinic. And this initial branding and expertise is really important in doing that. So also asking yourself, how do you handle consultation and outreach? If you're going to open up the doors to optimal referral sources, we need to be thinking about how you handle consultation. So the community generally favors a multidisciplinary team and care coordinated approach, especially for patients with highly specific needs. And those same patients can become those revolving door patients we talked about in these high volume clinics. So we need to help your referral sources understand your value, your unique brand, and your clinical approach. So just right out of the gate, the first things you can do, and again, please take the niche expertise course, but please pursue continuing education about your chosen specialty and area of expertise. This is great. The more knowledgeable you are in this area, the more you'll feel confident talking about it and telling referral sources about what you do. Engage in business of practice education just like this to ensure that your operations are really streamlined, your practice sets a professional precedent, you make patients feel really great when they get there. They know they're meeting with someone who is focused on quality clinical care and has their undivided attention. And put yourself in a place to genuinely grow if you wish. Create a working business plan that outlines the structure of your goals and timeline. I think it's really important that when we think about business plans, sometimes this is very intimidating. None of us took any business courses. We didn't receive this in graduate school. This doesn't need to be a fancy document, but setting forward intention, backing your way into your business goals is very, very important. So a basic business plan that outlines the structure of your expansion or growing your expertise. Really important. There's courses just on this alone. Please create a comprehensive list of ideal referral sources. Who are these people that you either currently engage with or would like to engage with? These are people you would send a patient to that you would trust, and people you would really like to know. That these are individuals you would like to know what you're doing in your practice and what you're driven around and what you're passionate about. Look closely at the number of referrals you're currently receiving, the consultations that you're conducting, and the conversions that you're making to active patients. If you understand your referral rates, this is really the key to understanding how many of these new clients you can welcome and how much you can expand your base. And what I usually see clinicians do is they start engaging in learning some new business of practice techniques, just like this, and they slowly turn the dial down on the types of patients they don't want to see. Perhaps they get off an insurance panel, and they slowly work to improve their brand recognition in the community, connect with some high-quality people, and grow that part of their business. So considering including patient referral cards as part of your general advertising and marketing campaign is really important. This is one of the most effective tools for driving business to your practice from quality referral sources. And what we found is that this single strategy alone solves that entire triaging, revolving door process, especially for physicians. And they are so happy to not have a recurrent client that is coming in over and over again for depression or anxiety or postpartum or, a pediatric issue that's really psychological in nature. They need to know where you are. And the quickest way to have them find you is by a referral card. And it's a little different than a business card. There's a quote here at the bottom that just says, often we are too slow to recognize how much and in what ways we can assist each other through sharing such expertise and knowledge. It's really very true. What I find about clinicians more than anything is that they are timid and nervous to be self-promoting. They sometimes, even in our industry, this is considered dirty. Historically, it absolutely is not. And this does not have to be self-aggrandizing material with pictures of yourself all over it. This is just simple community information. And one way to think about it, especially if you're somebody who's a little shy or doesn't like self-promotion, is not to think about putting yourself out there. What you're doing is putting your expertise and your area of specialization out there. As we talked about to begin with, if you had a problem in your family, if something was wrong, God forbid, with somebody that we know or a child, we would want to find an expert. And the way we do that is we go to the trusted sources we have to begin with. We call our child's pediatrician and we say, I think he's having a psychological issue. Where should we go? My parent is aging. I think there's something psychological in nature. Where should we go? And so in thinking about other individuals' needs and the way the public needs to find you, we all know that the public's capacity to accept and tolerate and understand the great value mental health services have is part of this. More and more increasingly, people are looking for people like you. And unfortunately, we don't know how to promote ourselves. We don't know where to go. We don't know the first thing about it. And they can't find us. And so perhaps when you're concerned about being self-promoting or you're worried about the way in which your brand comes across, maybe as a therapist, clinician, it's easier to take the place of other and think about the person that's trying to find you and the ways that you're solving their problems. So referral cards, just so we know what they are a simple marketing piece distributed to your referral sources. They're generally postcard sized. I've seen them at all different types of print sizes. It can be a postcard size. I like a 5x5 square or 6x6. You can think about how to make that unique with somebody who designs this for you, and also the design does not need to be very complicated. Remember, most clinicians around the country aren't necessarily on the line. They're not always thinking about these types of marketing pieces. They generally have a business card and a website maybe. And you're already becoming, differentiating yourself in the community by even having a referral card. So if you think about your business collateral, which is what they would call it in the marketing and advertising world, top items to have: a great website that really goes over your expertise. The public is going to get on Google and look for an expert. a great business card that matches you and your brand. It doesn't have to be one that everybody would use. It should be one that's unique to you. And when someone sees the business card or the referral card, gets to your office and isn't surprised that they see the person behind the colors or imagery that you chose. So during appointments, doctors or primary care doctors, pardon me, or high volume referral sources will simply grab this card and they will hand it to a patient. So the referral card language needs to be clear, and this is one key indicator. The referral card language is not directed at the doctor. It is not a thank you card for referrals to a doctor's office or to a high volume referral source. It is directed at the prospective patient. So the language is directed at patients, and it explains the benefits of seeking a psychological consultation. The card stresses the importance sometimes of finding a specialist and the clinical importance of goodness of fit. This marketing piece should match your overall brand. It should match well with your website, your business cards, any online advertisements you run through, groups like Psychology Today. And the way this works is you simply drop the cards off a few times per year to your best referral sources, sometimes with a simple gift and a gesture. Something small, could be a thank you card, could be a box of cookies, something that just says thank you for coordinating and engaging in care collaboration with me. These are for your patients should you bump into this issue. So this is a simple collateral piece to give patients, and it helps those clinicians to stop that revolving door process. There they are in midstream in the middle of that last primary care visit with a young lady who has panic attacks, and this time they just reach over, grab your referral card and say, I work with a great clinician in the area. They specialize in anxiety disorders. This explains what a consultation is. You call this number. They expect our phone calls, and also I will work with them directly to coordinate your care. There is nothing more meaningful to any of us than knowing that our doctors are working with other doctors. We want our care providers working together. This is how we reduce the likelihood of error, and we improve the likelihood of clinical success. So you can also create a referral form if you like. This can just be an easy-to-use referral form for those referring offices. And so if that primary care physician wants to take the extra step, they can also fill out a quick referral form and send it over that just says, here's some basic patient information, maybe a checklist of possible referral needs and presenting complaints, and a section for the physician to include any additional information. They can send that form securely back to your office on behalf of a patient, and then you can contact the patient to schedule a consultation as well. The medical industry has used this much more than the psychological part of the medical industry, which, as you know, the public is starting to understand that there really is a mind-body connection, that our mind is not an organ that is separated from the rest of our body. And now they are starting to pursue complementary services, alternative services, as well as psychological services. They're pursuing these at a rate they never have in the past. So it's never been a better time for you to tell your community about what you do. And these optimal referral sources are so grateful. It's really quite an interesting thing to experience. First starting with being a little nervous about being self-promoting, not really wanting to have a brand, not wanting to talk about your expertise. Next thing you know, you're getting a call from an OBGYN's office or a dermatologist or urologist who's calling on the phone and saying, I'm so grateful that you're there. Some of the things that I see are not medical in nature. They are psychological in nature, and I really needed to know that you were there. I can't tell you how many times I've heard from high volume referral sources that they have a few psychologists or clinicians, therapists, psychiatrists they refer to, and that those people's voicemail is full, or their voicemails say that they're not taking current patients. Imagine how that person feels, not only when they know about you, that you have the expertise that they need for their patient, that you'll coordinate and make sure that patient gets amazing clinical care, and that they have a referral card that they can just hand that patient on the way out the door. So this is quality directed marketing, and the intention, again, is to stop that revolving door process for other people. So the best people to think about when you're making that list of your optimal referral sources are, who are people who cannot serve my patients and have a lot of patients themselves. Schools are great for this. They have to see hundreds of children in those counseling offices, and they have parents who need couples therapy. They have kids who've had a terrible trauma, who have loss, who have grief. You don't even need to be a child specialist to market to the schools. They need to refer adults. Those adults have aging parents. And those poor school counselors usually have almost nobody to refer to. They don't know what to do. They tell parents, go call the back of your insurance card. And then a poor parent does, and the 3 providers they call aren't taking patients, or they can't get in for a month and a half. Again, let's solve the problems of other people. And in doing that, we solve our own problem, and we actually are rewarded by getting to see the patients we love seeing all day. So these are top items to include in your referral card. Obviously, your logo and practice name. Try to consider having this be image strong. I'm going to give you some examples. We even threw some in the packet, some designed examples of referral cards. I like to think about a card that a client might be actually attracted to. So maybe imagery that would reflect your expertise. If it's a parent who's, you serve children, perhaps an image of a child that a parent might be drawn to. The front of the card can just be imagery. Remember, we want someone to want to take it. We also don't want someone to be embarrassed to walk around with it. And patients still have some stigma associated with getting mental health services. We don't want them to, but they do. So this should be a card that a parent or a person feels great grabbing. So the front, just clean, attractive. I also say consider an odd size. Everybody's used to the size of a business card. Everybody's used to a 3-panel folding brochure. What I like about these referral cards is you can have them designed or cut to any size. They're not expensive to make, and they actually have the great return on investment. So when you think about print, we think to ourselves, why do a mailing, or why spend money on print materials? I couldn't agree with you more. Unless you can ensure that your print materials have a good return on investment, meaning they're going to get in the right hands and bring you the right client, they can be a waste of money. This is not a waste of money. And considering an odd size is interesting because it's just, it increases the likelihood that someone would be curious about the card. As I said at the beginning, I personally like kind of a 5x5 cut of this. It's like a CD size. It's square. It's different. And people will notice it. It should have a well-branded description of your services. And you can say generalized services available, generalized psychological services available too, if you wish, but remember, this card is really supposed to promote those couple of areas of expertise that you really love. The call that you get from the right referral source on the right patient, and you're excited to do your intake because you know that this is what you do best. Obviously, your location, your phone number, and a quick call to action. I also like, when I say call to action, that's borrowed from advertising and marketing. We want to tell somebody what to do. Call today, schedule your free consultation now. The first step's the hardest, get started today. It can just be some very basic language that encourages the person to make the call. If you do offer a free consultation or even a partial free consultation, this is a very important place to put that on your referral card. You can also say, goodness of fit is paramount in creating clinical change. As such, I offer a consultation. People really need, we all know that goodness of fit is one of the #1 factors associated with clinical outcome. So actually saying that to a patient, hey, come on down to the office, you'll get to try me out. This just instills trust. Remember, they already got the card from somebody they trust, and now they're being referred to somebody they can trust again. So I like to put on the card, and I know it sounds silly, this referral card was given to you by a provider you trust, because it was. And these are the warmest, highest quality referrals you can get. I put some psychoeducation for consumers is on this list. I like to talk about goodness of fit. You can decide what education you would like to put on your card, but we want to keep it pretty stark and simple. And if you do offer a free consultation, that's something good to put there as well. So if you, I'm going to go over a few business strategies that I think will help you to utilize referral cards. And then at the end of this presentation, we've actually given you, because we've had so many requests for this, I told you that this topic has been directly related to our another webinar we give on cultivating your niche expertise, where I mentioned the use of referral cards, and then we just were overcome by phone calls and requests saying, can you please tell me what a referral card is? So here at the end, we actually gave you some pictures of referral cards, the ways they might look, language you might want to put on them. Again, these are just designed examples of referral cards, something for you to think about. But before we get to the end there and you use those samples, those are samples you could also send to a designer as well. Just a basic graphic designer. Most people know one or can hire one for very little money. And you could say, this is the type of card. Here's an example. So you'll have that from us. Before we get there, I want to talk about a few business strategies that you can employ this year to generate immediate and lasting change. And the reason I am pivoting from the referral card to these business strategies is clinicians are so often just overwhelmed by the business itself. There are people on the line today that signed up for the referral card class and are still thinking, I feel overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed in practice. I don't know that everything is streamlined. I don't know that I have the time. I'm nervous about changing my brand. I don't know if I have a business plan in place. I'm not earning what I'd like to. If you can think of any problem that a clinician would reflect to us, as a business education team, we have certainly heard it. And I think that what I've done too here is try to encourage you to think about 5 strategies that can increase your revenue by 20%. Obviously, this is a marketing tool that we talked about today, and I want you to be able to afford it and to be able to buy some print collateral. When money is very tight, clinicians are exhausted. They're worried about their business. I don't believe that they can focus on quality clinical care the same way they can when they are running streamlined, efficient, rock star businesses with great marketing, and they're getting paid really well. And that does not mean that you're only serving the wealthy. That means that you're getting paid well enough to make decisions about the types of patients that you would like to see. So I hope that because this is a partial, small little webinar, that you will look through the rest of our business education series, as well as other educational series that are offered around the country. There's more business education for clinicians now than there ever has been. 20 years ago, no one even talked about business. And that's very unfortunate because we are clinicians and therapists and we're responsible for clinical care, but we're also business owners. And we really need to know how to run an empowered business. So here's some just 5 tips that we put into this class as well to think about. Consider utilizing progressive technology and business education to streamline and operationalize the business side of your practice. So clinicians increase revenue 20% storing a form of payment online. This allows you to bill for all services, late cancels, no-shows, and consultations. We have a quiz on auditing your business that you can take. It's really important to think about the amount of administrative work, operational work that you are doing that does not reflect your highest and best use. So many clinicians will minimize, I'm just running to the bank and dropping off some checks, or I'm just handling the scheduling, or just swiping these credit cards, or making paper notes and putting them on, in my drawer. When we think about all of the small tasks that you do and the amount of time it takes you to just run your practice, if we can try to operationalize and streamline those, number one, you free up some time that can be focused on business development, which this topic is about. This is about growing your practice and your brand. Additionally, the public has come to expect this. The public wants a professional precedent set. They don't really want to pay for session while they're there. They don't want their doctors swiping credit cards or their therapist swiping credit cards on a Square reader. They really want to have practice management work for them. They want to easily schedule, easily get insurance-ready statements, and they want to feel like you're setting a professional precedent and you're totally focused on them. Much harder said than done. I think this is why technology has arisen to help people in private practice, and I would highly recommend you consider utilizing some of the tools and education that are now available. You came to this class, so you've already decided that you'd like some business education, so you're partway there, and I really hope that you'll return and get some more from us and as well as other people around the country. I can't tell you how much it means to me to hear clinicians telling me, I had no idea my business could run so efficiently. I love that I'm making more money. I'm seeing more of the patients I want to see. I spend more time with referral sources that I like. It really can happen. It's a real possibility, but we just need to give you the techniques and strategies and tools to get there. Every single person who's listening today has the capacity to employ these strategies. A big one I mentioned at the beginning, learn to differentiate business development time and business operation time. If you are spending all of your time in business operations, you have no time for business development. So even starting this week, spending 2 hours per week And that doesn't mean at home, like in your office, private, just you time, thinking about where you'd like your business to go, creating a business plan, taking classes like this, reflecting on your advertising materials. This is going to get your practice exactly where you want it to go. There's no other business. If a patient came to see you or a client came to see you and said that they ran their own business and they had no time to organize, have forward intention, and think about where they want their business to go, and they felt like essentially their business was running them instead of them running their business, you would tell them as a clinician it's really important that they carve out that time. Same thing, dual process for us too. It's just as important for us to develop time every single week to think about where our business is going. Cultivate and promote your niche expertise. If you haven't done that yet, this is the basis of the referral card. First, we need you to acknowledge that you're an amazing expert and that people need you and they need to know how to find you, and that the right people need to be able to give your name out. So if you haven't quite promoted your niche expertise, perhaps you'll take our class on cultivating your niche expertise, and you'll start writing down and reflecting on how you want to be known in your community and what areas of specialization you would like your practice or clinic to be known for. Audit your current business operations to maximize current revenue. This is going to give you some room to be able to afford any new marketing. The best way to do this is to do a full practice audit. And when I say practice audit, what I mean is from the position of the customer. So thinking about how people experience your brand from the moment that they meet you, so they see you online, someone tells them about you, they get your referral card, all the way through termination. How do you process patients, schedule patients? How do you protect their healthcare data and financial data? Are you using practice management? Have you considered it? How does your marketing work? How do you talk about what you do best? How do your profiles look? How does your office space feel to patients? Does it feel like you? It doesn't need to be fancy. It just needs to feel like it's genuine, and it feels like it's a reflection of the type of work you do and who you are in the world. So auditing your business is really helpful. It will help you see all the areas you need to make micro adjustments to be more successful in business. And the last one is cultivate these optimal clients and referral sources by simply acknowledging what you do best. Utilize the law of reciprocity. What you give out in the world will be given back to you. There are people who are looking for you, and I hope that they'll be able to find you. And this is one simple way, very inexpensive, targeted way for people to find you. And as I said before, it's so rewarding when you get those calls from optimal referral sources. They're so grateful. They're like, thank you for dropping off those referral cards. This is helpful. You get to have a consultation on a patient. You get to watch a patient get better faster because you're engaging in scheduled paid care coordination instead of on-the-fly care coordination. It's just remarkable. And after that goes on for a while, what you start to see is that you're enjoying your clinical day more, you're seeing the patients you want to see more, you're making more because experts get paid more. This is all related to a larger topic, which is valuing yourself, valuing your expertise and what you bring to the clinical community. So I hope that this has been helpful. Again, here at the end, you'll see examples of referral cards. You'll see these pictures. You can see how stark they are. One is of this young man, and it's just a simple picture of a child. It has a quote on the front, and on the back, there's some information about the clinic. We gave you a version that's more of a compilation card. It's examples of the way you might use multiple images, but you can see that the imagery is stark. Someone might want to pick up this card. And then on the back, there's some basic information about how to get to your office. It just says, present this card for your free initial consultation. This is the type of card that a referral source wants to give out, and this is the type of referral card that a client feels comfortable carrying around. On the second page, you'll see some other examples as well. So I hope that this has been helpful. Again, from all of us at the Love Your Practice Education Division, we're so grateful for all of the current customers on the line and prospective customers. Our mission statement here is to improve the quality of life for clinicians, and we do that by giving out this education, and it gives me great pride to be able to do these courses and talk to all of you after them, and I wish you the best of luck in private practice, and I'll speak with you next time.
Thank you, Jessica, and thank you everyone on the line for today joining us. Today's webinar was sponsored by Therapy Partner and led by CEO Dr. Jessica Dolgan. And we invite you to join the movement. Therapy Partner is the fastest growing practice management technology in the industry. Therapy Partner's intuitive technology streamlines all business of practice tasks, including scheduling, billing, progress notes, statements, revenue tracking, and more, all from your computer, tablet, or phone. Therapy Partner is committed to creating technology and education that empowers your business, allowing you to focus on clinical care. Clinicians using Therapy Partner technology increase revenue 20% within their first year. For a limited time for attending today's webinar, you will receive a free business of practice consultation, a 60-day risk-free, no obligation trial of Therapy Partner's practice management system, and a copy of today's webinar. Please note this extended free trial is only available to registered attendees for a limited time. There are a lot of attendees on the line today, so to ensure you receive your free extended 60-day trial, personalized business consultation, and today's course content, simply send an email to me, Sarah Sims, that's SARASIMS, at therapypartner.com. Please include best times for your business of practice consultation in your email, along with the best phone number to reach you at. So please send me an email if you'd like to take advantage of all these free goodies at sarahsims at therapypartner.com. Sarah Sims, SARASIMS, at therapypartner.com. Dr. Dolgan and Therapy Partner understand that progressive technology and education and personalized support create an optimal opportunity for you to thrive in practice. Thank you, Dr. Dolgan, and thank you all for attending today's webinar. We hope you enjoyed the course content and will join us for future webinars and educational opportunities. At Therapy Partner, we are committed to providing the most progressive technology and education to help empower your practice. We hope to see you here again and have a wonderful day.